Hi there, and it's Monday again, and we are here with DRN Disaster Responder Assets Network with our new episode of Behind the Mask. Today we have Harumi Key with us. She's a good friend of mine. She's done a lot of work for DRN, and today we get to have an episode with her behind the mask. Hi, Harumi.
Hello, Natalie. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming to be here with us. We really appreciate your time. I know that you're super busy. And could you please tell us, what do you do when you are not when you're not here with us? What do you do for a living?
I am a nurse. I'm a registered nurse at a local emergency department, and I'm actually starting a second job as a nurse in an emergency department at another hospital. I'm also a charge nurse there, and we support our local community. We're a trauma center. We see a pretty large number of people, and it's been kind of initially one of the main epicenters of COVID patients here in the Bay Area.
Thank you so much for what you do. You have a super freaking stressful job, and I've watched your work firsthand. You guys do an amazing job. So thank you. Thank you for what you do, and thank you for being here with us. I wanted to, as part of Behind the Mask, we typically talk about how does life behind the uniform, behind the badge, behind the scenes looks like for people who are first responders. Can you tell me about either critical incidences that you experienced or some sort of recent challenges that you've had that you would like to talk about?
Sure. I mean, I think everyone right now is sort of still dealing with COVID. We are still dealing with COVID. I think that's one of the main things that I've come across. It was a critical incident for me. It's been about 3 to 4 months now we've been dealing with it. It has been a whirlwind. It has not only affected, my work environment, including the PPE we have to wear, but it has also affected, your personal life. Can you see your family, your friends, or if you kind of have to isolate yourself. And then, just generally dealing with life and everything that comes with that, on top of dealing with the stress of COVID. I can say personally for myself, initially when COVID hit, it was utter chaos. Things were changing by the hour, and trying to adapt an ER that sees about 300 patients a day, while implementing even more infection control than you ever had, and dealing with critically ill patients was quite a challenge. And then, we faced not having enough PPE, and the guidelines changing every day. Not knowing if you as a healthcare provider were protected from COVID, or if you were taking the right precautions for COVID. Are you going to be provided that day enough PPE to get through your shift, to protect yourself, to protect your patients, and to be able to do your job effectively? And that was pretty scary. I mean, we've never had this problem. So before, if you had a TB patient or something that you need to take specific precautions for, it was there. It was never a question. So to now be limiting resources, and things like that has been an interesting event to go through. And then just kind of seeing how healthcare has evolved, watching the trends of numbers of patients having COVID, how sick the patients are getting. I have never experienced some shifts like I have during this COVID period. There was one night I'll never forget where I just could not move fast enough. My ED was filled with some very, very sick ICU level patients who required ventilators and multiple IV medications to keep them alive. Patients coding or actively dying while we're trying to resuscitate them at the same time. And managing all this again while trying to protect yourself and your staff was quite challenging and kind of scary to watch. And then, unfortunately, I've had known staff members who have gotten sick, and worrying if they were going to be okay, and worrying if you yourself are going to be okay. Are you going to be bringing this home? Are you going to be giving it to a family member or a friend? Just so much unknown is scary. The ED is always very what I like to think of as controlled chaos, and it was just chaos upon chaos, I think, in the beginning. And then as things, at least here in the Bay Area, have kind of slowed down a bit, I think our numbers have slowed down a bit. Just, I believe in a time where, healthcare workers and any frontline worker, should be provided what they need or, have adequate resources, and staffing has come to an all-time low. Staffing has decreased significantly, which not only puts a burden on the staff that is working so hard to take care of patients every day, but is worrisome on a personal level. Some staff aren't getting as many hours that they're promised, and then on a personal level, which a lot of people don't know, because we're not gonna tell everyone our problems, but we have to worry about, just as anyone else who's being furloughed or laid off or receiving less hours, regardless of whether you're in the healthcare field or not. Managing your own personal finances, making sure that you can pay your bills. That I know is very stressful for some people and their families. And that's been pretty concerning as well during this time. And like I said, just kind of touching on life things, I had a coworker in another state that I used to work with recently pass away. And to hear of her passing was just, heartbreaking. I couldn't go up there to honor her in any way because of COVID. We couldn't have a memorial for her at that time because of COVID. And in a time, especially when you lose someone, when you want to be together, to feel that support and that love from the people around you, you're separated. And it's very isolating. And some days are harder than others. So there's kind of been that piece, and we're coming up on a year. I can speak personally for myself, and I think a lot of my coworkers. We lost one of our dearest coworkers and friends last June. So the anniversary of that's coming up, and it weighs heavy. It weighs heavier than I thought it would. It still feels pretty fresh. Um, and through all this chaos, I just sit there and I think about, you know, how would have he handled the situation? You know, what would he have thought of COVID? Um, how much I would love to have him by my side, you know, treating these patients and having him on my team. Um, so I would say for me right now, it's been an interesting couple of months since the start of COVID until now, and I guess just sort of expressing to people, the people that you see at the hospitals, or you know, in the ambulances, or you know, doctors, nurses, any one of us. You know, we love treating you. We're happy to treat you. We want to treat you. Um, that's why I go to work every day, because I love my job. I love serving my community. But we're affected too. Um, and I'm so thankful for Natalie and D-Ran for all her support and her resources. Um, but like I said, just as everyone else is dealing with their life issues, whether it's, you know, personal, they've lost a friend or family member from COVID or not from COVID, if an anniversary of a, you know, a death is coming up for someone, or, you know, your own illnesses might be affecting you other than COVID. You know, finances, because of the way the job market is right now. These are all super scary things, super scary. And I think it's important to remember, and just have everyone be able to empathize with each other, that everyone's going through so much right now.
Thank you so much for sharing this. And it sounds like you're going through a lot. I mean, obviously, we all are with the whole COVID things, but I think that for you personally, it sounds like you've recently had one loss, and then you're coming up on a first anniversary of another one. And uh, again, thank you for sharing it. And I'm sorry that you're going through this. I know this is our friend, the one that the anniversary is coming up, and I I wish that he was here with us. I really tremendously miss him. And thank you for bringing him up and being able to talk about it, because it's hard. I think it's really, really hard to talk about these things. And I mean, we're all humans, right? And despite of the fact that, you know, when we come home and we take off the uniform, we still have the emotions, we still have the, you know, whatever things that we're experiencing, both on a professional as well as personal. Um, and I think that I really appreciate also what you brought up in respect to kind of remembering that we're all in this together, that um, instead of turning on each other, and let's find ways to support each other and really work through this as a community, as a team, both in our workplace as well as a general, as a community, as a whole. Um, but on a specific level, so it sounds like a lot. I mean, you've mentioned quite a few things. What kind of support do you A have, and B you would like to have in order? Because one of the things that we always teach is that it's, you know, we heal as a group and we do better as a group. And the last thing that we want people to do is to isolate within their emotions, feelings, that sense of isolation, that sense of I'm the only one who is experiencing it. Because in reality, we're all experiencing very similar things, even though it feels like it's extremely isolated. And I think part of it is also because of the culture of healthcare as well as first responders. We're so type of personalities, and we are, you know, we're the saviors. And but the reality of it is that I think we all experience the same thing. So tell me, in terms of the support, what support do you have, and what support would you like to have in terms of just getting through this?
I will say I am extremely fortunate as far as my coworkers are absolutely amazing. Um, I can honestly say I've never worked with a group that when you need someone or something's going down or anything like that, we really do kind of band together and help each other through it, whether it's financially or you know physically being there with someone, just to have you sit with them, grab a drink, whatever it is, um, for someone to just listen to you. I have a great support system at work as far as my coworkers go. Um, and DRAN has been wonderful as well. Um, in what other sense, Natalie, are you asking about the support system as far as um, the work things for the COVID or just in general?
I guess let me rephrase this. Thank you. What are the things that you do to take care of yourself in order to keep your mental health, uh, to keep yourself basically healthy in a mental health standpoint? Like, how do you take care of yourself? What are the things that you do?
Well, um, again, my coworkers are wonderful, and I hang out with them quite a bit. Um, I have my wonderful dog at home. I have a little wiener dog named Oliver. He is my pride and my joy.
We love your wiener dog.
Um, he's kind of a celebrity. He was even on the picket lines at one point. Um, you know, DRAN's great. I love it because I'm able to help, be a part of something to help other people. But then if I need, counseling or even to call Natalie and be like, I need to vent, um, Natalie or DRAN has been a great resource. Um, just going, getting away from everything, even if it's by yourself, whether you go to the beach or you go on a hike. I do a lot of that just to kind of clear my head um, and honestly just kind of check out for a little bit. Um, yeah, there's always food, alcohol, those types of things.
So it sounds like, I mean, you're emphasizing on peer support again, whether it's your coworkers who you can come and debrief with or whatever, just to chat with them essentially on whatever is going on, or an organization or someone else who's potentially, I mean, we also have the ability to go to a professional help. This is something that is really, really bothering you, or there is an extra, like a step above level of treatment that is needed. And I mean, again, going back into just don't isolate, just talk to whoever is available to you, whoever is your safe space, whether it's your coworkers, whether it's your peers, whether it's another organization that is independent. There's also ability to go to like EAP, for example, which when we work together, we actually utilized some. And there are organizations outside of DRAM that also offer peer support. There are multiple organizations like the FRSN and Code 9 and multiple other ones. There are plenty of organizations that offer these same type of services. So thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. Are you willing, and this is up to you, are you willing to talk about how do these stressors manifest themselves in your life physically, on a physical level, not just emotional?
Yes. Probably regret this afterwards. Um, on a physical sense, well, I will say, let's just start with the COVID thing. When you have to wear so much PPE, the masks, the goggles or eye protection or face shields, and the gowns and the booties and your gloves and all those things. Like you go in those rooms for like 15 to 30 minutes to get everything done, and you are just dripping in sweat. It's really kind of gross and very uncomfortable. Um, the masks just suck in general, to be completely honest with you. None of them are comfortable. Some of them leave indentations on your face. Some of them give you a rash. I feel like I'm going through puberty again. I feel like I'm constantly breaking out. um, so there's that piece while you're at work. Like I said, you're in those rooms for a long time, and again, we're all just trying to stay so clean and so have good infection prevention. We don't eat or drink for long periods. You can't go to the bathroom sometimes for 8 hours, which is horrifying but true. And it does. It takes its toll on you. It doesn't feel good. Um, your like internal clock is off. Personally for me, I don't sleep very well. It's really hard for me to fall asleep at night when I'm supposed to be sleeping. Um, I think a lot of times now too, like things are starting to open now, but before when things were more limited and I didn't have enough time to go to the grocery store or whatever, you end up just eating really unhealthy food some days, and that doesn't make you feel good either. And that was kind of rough toward the beginning, to not be able to even just go to the grocery store as conveniently. You don't have a mask or you don't have enough time to wait in the line, then you don't get to go to the store. Um, so there's that. Just a lot of just general stress and how some people's body can react to that. Um, I started clenching my jaw, which I don't really do. And then I wake up in the morning and my jaw really hurts. And then I get headaches. But I know it's just a stress response. But something I've never done before until recently. Um, so I'll be pretty honest about that. That's a new one for me. I'm trying to think what else. Mm, I don't know, Natalie. What about you? Have you had any things like while dealing with COVID patients that you've noticed?
Well, first of all, thank you for sharing it because I know this is kind of, private, for lack of a better term. So I really do appreciate your openness. You know what I did a few weeks ago? So you know how it's like you get all like, feel like you've been in this COVID room forever and you just get out and you take the mask off. So I took alcohol, the rubbing alcohol, put it all over my face because I felt just so, I know. It's terrible. And I mean, I'll echo what you're saying because it's like when I do transport, it's like we're stuck. Before COVID, I was vegetarian. No more because it wasn't really an option to get food. And I feel like now, like you said, things are starting to open up a little bit. But overall, like now we have all the other issues, that are happening that some first responders are nervous about going and eating in public places because of all the directed negative emotions and feelings towards first responders. So there's a lot of that right now that is also happening. So I feel like we need to do some catching up in terms of taking care of ourselves. And I feel like, again, if you have a good team and if you have a good support system, it's going to make you or break you, right? And just being able to reach out and having the ability to have the honest and open conversations, open discussions about how do you feel and what do you need. How many times we've called our friends and just said, hey, I just needed to be with me on a phone and I'm just going to vomit all over you, like mental vomit, right? And I think that's really important. So thank you for bringing that. On that note, is there anything you would like to? Oh, hi. Hi, Oliver. Is there anything that you would like the viewers to give them as a like takeaway point before we are done?
Sorry. Um, just I guess I know in some people sort of, you know, are so grateful and so thankful, and we've been treated so well in certain instances from the community, donating food to our hospital. We've had so much free food donated. I don't want to say where I work, but I just want to say thank you to all the people who have taken the time to bring us food. Like, it means the absolute world to us. Because like I said, sometimes we don't have time to just run to the store or to pick something up. And it has helped so much. And it's just kind of like I don't know, you feel supported from the community. And sometimes when you're at work, you don't even feel supported by your own hospital corporation, because they're not feeding you, or they're not giving you the right PPE you need. And just the simple kindness of them taking the time to make the food and donate it is mind-blowing. And I'm forever thankful to you guys, to all the people who have donated. And just to remember, that the people taking care of you, again, we want to be there. We want to take care of you. It's an honor for us to take care of you. But I'm sorry if, we're tired, or, we're stressed. And like I said, we're all dealing with life, and everything that comes with that, on top of now dealing with COVID, and just doing the best we can, literally one day at a time. And I think that's my biggest message that I want to put out there, is that, yeah, just remember that we're human too, and sometimes we have bad days, and sometimes we have wonderful days. But yeah.
Thank you again very much for being here with us, and thank you very much for all the hard work that you do and the wonderful message. And thank you for supporting the community with everything that you do.
Thank you.
It was really good having you. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. And for whoever is watching, we still have the peer support meetings that are available 4 times a week. You can go to our website in order to sign up for the meetings. Log into the meetings. We also have ability to send and refer people to culturally competent clinicians who are used to taking care of first responders and disaster relief professionals. And on that note, I want to tell you again how much I appreciate your time for spending another Monday afternoon with us. And I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Thank you. Bye.